Hello everybody and welcome to Smite. This is the Conquest guide video. In this video I will be showing you what the Conquest map is, how it works, and some of the basics that you'll need to know when you start to play. Starting off, we have the lanes. On the left side we have the short lane, which is also called the solo lane. We have the middle lane, that's normally where most of the mages go. And then we have the long lane over here on the right side. That is where the duo lane goes, where the hunter and the guardian or the warrior, depending on whatever group composition you're looking at, will normally be playing. This video I'm being helped out by Cal. He helped me make the game. Thank you very much, Cal. And now let's get started. Here we are, I'm playing Athena in her red star skin. I will be going over what the jungle buffs are. The blue teardrops indicated on the four corners of the map, here, 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 and here, are mana buff camps. They will mainly be there to provide you with a ton of mana, cooldown regeneration, and regenerating mana. That's normally what a hunter would take. And the side camp towards the mid and late game, the side lane won't really be needing blue buff as much, and mid lane can take it if the jungler and the solo lane can improve it. Over here we have normal gold camps. They're marked just by these little dots here, 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 and here. The one over here that I just pinged recently is called the Gold Fury. The Gold Fury is a raid type monster boss, if you're familiar with those. If you're familiar with League of Legends or Dota, it's the dragon. If you kill it, it's a bit hard to kill. But as you can see, as you whittle its health down, they'll become weaker and weaker. And upon death, it will give everyone on the team a large experience buff and 300 gold. Over here we have the side camps that are the mid and the jungler's job to take. Sometimes the guardian or the support will go over there if he's looking for him. There are two on each side of the middle lane. They are worth quite a lot of XP and 45 gold apiece. Just about about worth the XP of the lane and the gold of about a lane and a half. They're very important to get if you're going to be dominating. Over here, marked by the red swords, are the damage camps. They are primarily a massive damage buff that you'll want to get. It's worth 15 experience, or 20% physical and magical power, plus 10 magical power and 5 physical power. It's a pretty significant buff. Over here, marked by the orange speed indicators, are the speed buffs. When slain and you picked up the buff, they will provide you a movement speed bonus and an attack speed bonus. This is the jungler's bread and butter early on, and by mid to late game it will be a hunter's best friend. Again, increased movement speed, increased attack speed, and just all around a nice pickup. The buffs are set at 3-minute cooldowns for any of the major buffs, including the mana buffs, the speed buffs, and the attack buffs. Over at the Gold Fury, its respawn time is at 5 minutes, along with the Fire Giant, who has yet to spawn. He is a much bigger boss that's a bit harder to kill than the Gold Fury, and once slain will give a buff to any team members who are currently alive for 4 minutes for increased health and mana regeneration, as well as a magical power and physical power buff.
Your left tower is under attack.
Now, a major thing about playing Smite and Conquest will be vision. As you can see right now, there are no wards currently placed on the map. The fog is currently completely blind. And as you can see from my
An
C
enemy
and
has
Z,
returned.
these are wards. What's placed in C is a normal standard ward that will just see enemy movement, and what's placed in Z is what's called a vision ward. The vision ward will be able to spot out enemy wards and make them killable. Likewise, if a sentry ward is seen by another sentry ward, it will also be able to be slain. Now, a nice thing for the low mana gain, or for the low money gaining in the right lane, is called the Eye of Providence.
Your right
It's
tower
what most
is under
guardians
attack.
and melee characters in the right lane will pick up. It will give you a ward that you can place every 90 seconds at the first rank, either 70 or 80 seconds at the next rank, and at the third rank it becomes a sentry ward. Here we will place a ward and show how how Fog of War works.
A good spot, I
Your
think.
middle tower is under attack.
Here we have
right tower
the
is under
blue
attack.
markers indicated on the map is the vision that ward can see. If you were to go to the right and an enemy were to be walking in here, there would be a small ping on the map, just like that, and it would show where the enemy character was. The main warding spots that you want to cover are parts where you will be able to see multiple choke points. So a ward here, a ward here, and likewise on the reverse side of the map, you will want to find here and here. Also around major jungle buffs, so Gold Fury, Fire Giant, and the enemy buffs. If you were to place one here, you wouldn't be getting very much vision, but you can see when the enemy is coming for their blue buff, you will be able to see them and you can attempt to steal it. As you can see, Cal is currently hanging out over by the Fire Giant, and as such we were able to see him on the map and we heard an audible ping sound. Now, another basic that you will need to know is the VGS system.
Arms!
It is a voice macro system that easily lets people on your team know what's going on without having to type out very slowly, "There's an enemy missing in middle lane." Instead, you can use the VGS systems and use the common practice of VF2.
Enemy missing middle.
There are plenty of the VGS commands that are used, and it's very important that you get to learn the important ones, such as enemy missing, which is VF and then whatever lane. If enemies are missing completely, you would you would press the last button used, and it would just say enemy is missing.
Enemy missing.
Another buff, or another, I'm sorry about that. Another useful one is enemies incoming. So let's say Cal's in right lane, and if he disappears, he could be coming to middle lane. So you would say,
Enemies incoming middle.
and as such we would be aware that we have an enemy coming in middle. So instead of playing so far forward where we could easily be hurt, we want to retreat
Your
back
right
towards our
tower
towers
is under attack.
to a relative safety of the tower. It's still possible to get attacked into the tower, but it's much less of a risky option. Here we see Cal is going for the blue buff. We can go over there, we can stop him, or, as this is, we will just let him pass for now. If you look at the bottom of the video below, I will have a link to all of the important VGS commands and the important places to map. These are thanks to the Smite subreddit from reddit.com. And until Fire Giant spawns so we can get a look at him, we're just going to go around and do jungle practice. Here we see the damage buff. And as such, normally junglers will have clear, or they will have very low cooldowns that they can drop these camps fairly easily. Common junglers are Loki, Freya, Fenrir, and many others, Mercury, Thanatos. Likewise, for the right lane, hunters are commonly played by ranged characters, although with very few exceptions. Common hunters are Neith, Artemis, Apollo, Xbalanque, Anhur, and Amuzan Kab. Along with them, you will have your traditional supports, like Bacchus, Athena here, Ares, and Sun Wukong has recently become a major part of the right lane, proving that it's possible to put a damage dealer with your hunter to protect them. Now, as you may have heard, there was a small crashing sound coming from the left. That means that Cal has successfully taken the Gold Fury camp. You can hear it from about right here. Now, if you can hear that, you won't have to walk forward and say, hey, they took the Gold Fury, and then possibly get killed for it. Retreat back to your lane, under tower, and in your own time and type, they took Gold Fury. And remember that with the Gold Fury being taken, a 5-minute cooldown will appear. If you are able to take note of the timer, you can add 5 minutes to it and type it out in chat. As we saw, Cal took it at roughly 11 minutes 30 seconds. So we know that in 5 minutes time, Gold Fury will become available again, approximately 16 minutes and 30 seconds.
A little warning here will help.
And here we have the Fire Giant, which Cal is currently in combat with. What he will do periodically is he will flood his entire zone with lava. If you are further away in melee, he will throw lava balls at you. In melee, he will just hit you with the hammer. Now, as you can see from Cal's buff floating around that little magma ball, it proves that he has just killed the Fire Giant. Now, a nice thing to note, if you have just fought, or if you see somebody with the Fire Giant, when it wears off 4 minutes later, the 5-minute timer will tell you that there is 1 minute left on the Fire Giant buff. You can use that 1 minute timer left to see when the enemy doesn't have it anymore, that Fire Giant will be respawning in roughly a minute or less. That's when you want to get out here, place your wards, and make sure that the enemy isn't coming. Now, on the minimap, we can see that it is not cleared, or that is completely cleared. And much like all the other buffs, when the camp becomes available again, we will see the icon reappear. Now, one small note for the buffs is occasionally, sometimes the icon won't appear that the buff is on the ground. Usually, if the jungler has not taken that buff, the buff is still there. That is a small graphical error that Hi-Rez is currently working on a fix for. I hope you learned plenty about this arena, or how to play Conquest, the most common game type for Smite. And if you have any questions, comments, you can use the comments below on YouTube, or you can send me a message. I'm on Twitter at Healzu for any questions. If you would like to see a God guide, you can also send me a message, say, hey, I'm wondering how to play Athena, and I would be more than happy to oblige giving you a gameplay guide of how to play Athena.
Your left tower
Until then, this is Smite, I'm Healzu, have fun.